Well, that's it. I'm throwing in the towel. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Jen, and this is A Better Life with Jen. And in today's installment of the Road to 50 bulking series, I'm going to talk about how I am ending my intentional bulk and where I'm going from here. So if you haven't seen the other episodes in this series, I encourage you to go back and watch them. But in essence, I started a bulk. And what that is it's an intentional period of eating calories above your maintenance with the hope of adding some muscle. Now, with some muscle, you're obviously going to add some fat as well. That's just how things go. But the hope is that if you do it correctly, you can maximize the muscle gains and minimize those added fat gains. Well, it has been 6 months. I initially entered the bulk planning on 3 months, which was going to take me right to my 50th birthday. But I hit that and was feeling well, things were going well, so I decided to extend the bulk 3 more months. Now, ideally, a bulking season should be closer to 9 to 12 months, but I'm calling it quits after 6, and I'll tell you why. So mentally, doing a bulk is not the easiest thing in the world. When you are intentionally trying to add weight to yourself while everybody around you is trying to lose weight, everybody is advertising the newest GLP-1 that they're taking, it's tough. Mentally, it's not easy. So let me take you through what happened during my bulk. So what I did was I slowly increased my calories, getting above my maintenance, and I did put on some muscle and some weight as well. So my starting weight was 110.7 pounds. Now, I am 5'2", just for context. My highest weight that I hit average was 114. And that was last month's average. Now, last month, if you went back and watched that episode, I did say how I was trying to slow down the weight gain a little bit because that 5th month was a little bit quicker than I originally intended. So what did I do in the past month and where am I at now? So my average weight now is pretty similar to last month. Last month was 114. This month is 113.9. So essentially the same. I left my calories right where they were, 2,400 calories, with a protein goal of 150 grams, carbohydrates of 270, and fats at 80 grams. Now, I will admit, although I left my targets the same, I was not always the best at hitting my targets. Now, when I am dialed into the bulking season, I am on those targets. I play macro Tetris and I make them work. But I'll be honest, this past month, I sort of was a little more lax in the targets and I probably undershot the targets, most of the time. Never went over, but kind of went under on the targets. So my average calories this past month, even though my targets were 2,400, were closer to between 2,200 and 2,300, which is still a fair amount of food for a small human being like I am. Now, I'm going to put up some comparison pictures between when I started the bulk and then 6 months in to kind of see how things look. Now, personally, I don't think there's any huge change. I was hopeful but was not expecting any big changes. 6 months is not a lot of time to put on noticeable muscle. My measurements stayed essentially the same. My waist measurement fluctuated about a half an inch, give or take, throughout the 6 months, getting as high as 25, getting as low as 24 and a half, and somewhere in between. And my most recent measurements, my waist is back at 24 and a half, and my glutes were unchanged as well. So that's actually encouraging. One also encouraging thing that I also measure is my thigh, and that did increase. So that's very encouraging, meaning that that's probably muscle. And given the fact that my waist measurement did not change dramatically, that's probably meaning that I added muscle, obviously along with some of that fat. Now, as I mentioned, my training changed a little bit during my bulking season. I started working with a personal trainer a couple of months ago, which was going really well until last week when my personal trainer texted me the day before our session that he was leaving and would no longer be at the gym that I was at and would assign me to somebody else. So that was a little frustrating. I met with that trainer once, was not that impressed. I'm going to be meeting with a different trainer going forward, and I'm really hopeful that things will work out. I've continued during this bulk with 4 weightlifting sessions a week, and then the other days doing some form of cardio, whether that be riding my Peloton or running. Also focusing on getting a large amount of steps throughout the day. I really like to be active. I don't do well sitting, so I do get quite a few steps just with normal activity. So what does my fitness journey look like going forward? My intent is to stay sort of at maintenance, which is pretty much what I've been doing this past month. So I'm planning on keeping my calories somewhere between 22 and 2300, but not being quite as rigid as I am when I am really dialed into the bulk. And although I really enjoy counting macros and I've done it for years and years and years, being that rigid with it sometimes can get a little bit tedious. So it'll be nice just to have a little bit of flexibility there. I will continue with 4 weight training sessions a week, trying to really focus on adding strength and muscle. You can actually gain strength while you're at maintenance. It's just not going to be as quick as it is if you're in a true dedicated bulk. But at this point, I'm okay with that. So going forward, I'm really trying to focus more on how I feel and how I look and how I perform in the gym rather than that number on the scale. Remember, the number on the scale only shows your gravitational pull on the earth. It does not say anything about how you are as a human being or how strong you are. I was listening to a podcast the other day and somebody said, if you woke up and you were 10 pounds heavier, but you had your dream physique when you looked in the mirror, would you care? And honestly, I would have to say no. I'm going more for a look than a number. And of course, trying to feel stronger in the gym, because ultimately that's what's going to help longevity. Adding muscle is going to keep me fit well into my old age. And that really is my goal. So going forward, I don't plan on continuing monthly updates because I'm hopefully just going to be kind of at maintenance, maybe continuing to get a little stronger, fingers crossed. If I do decide to enter another bulk, I will let you know and may do another video on that. I have absolutely zero intention of entering a cutting season, however. So I like to eat and I do not intend to drop my food into what would be required for a cut. I'm planning on just sort of maintaining status quo with my food and really just trying to push myself in the gym. So if you have any questions about what a bulk entails or any more questions about my bulking experience or my previous bulking experiences, please drop them in the comments. I would love to talk about this. I love talking about this stuff. I hope you did enjoy this 6-month Road to 50 bulking season. I enjoyed eating a little bit more food, and I did learn some things about myself as well. Learned some things that bothered me more than I thought they would, and some things that I was perfectly okay with. If you did find this video interesting or maybe helpful, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, all of those things that help grow the channel and help feed the algorithm. I appreciate everyone watching, and I will see you next week with another video.